Hi there. Today I'm going to do a Pilates workout. That would be great if you are new to Pilates, a beginner in your Pilates practice, maybe recovering from an injury, or just looking for a nice way to connect deeper to your fundamental Pilates movements and exercises. So we're going to start standing today. And I just want you to find a parallel position. And parallel with our feet is just bringing them right underneath our hips, our sit bones, whatever body landmark works well for you, but just kind of straight down. And I really want you to feel the heaviness of your body and your feet. So maybe just start to bend your knees a little bit, kind of let your hips move side to side. And then press your heels really solidly into the mat or the ground underneath you and stand up nice and tall. So in this position, we want to start to think first about the alignment of our body. So in Pilates, alignment is key, it's extremely important. So the alignment of our posture as we start, really think about trying to keep your hips, so your pelvis, over your ankles. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what that looks like. So sometimes we might stand a little bit too like this, kind of sticking our butt out, arching our back. So just seeing if we can really bring that pelvis right over the ankles, draw the abdominals in, okay? And then also from here, just letting those shoulders be right on top of the pelvis. So we kind of have this straight line from the ankle all the way up to the hip, the pelvis, all the way up to the shoulder, and then of course the last thing is our head is just resting nicely on the shoulders. So really trying to keep that chin in a nice neutral position, or the head. So think about a little shelf for your chin, and you're just gonna rest your chin on that shelf. So if you're lengthening the back of your body to get more length, instead of tipping your chin up, which actually kind of sections off your head from the rest of your body, you really want to think about almost as if you have that little shelf for your chin to rest on here. I'm going to turn back and face you now. So now that we're nice and aligned, I want you to start to think more about your breathing. Breathing is a big component of Pilates as well. So we move with our breath. Oftentimes our breath will help just activate our abdominal muscles even more intensely and help us to lengthen as we take deep breaths in. So let's start out by bringing our hands to our ribs. So find your rib cage. Okay, and just bring one hand to each side. And I want you to think about taking a big breath in and filling up your ribs and just growing in diameter in the center part of your body here. And then on the exhale, think about really trying to close those ribs up or bring them in nice and tight. So big inhale and exhale. It's almost as if you have a corset on and you're just tightening or cinching up that corset. So really narrowing in everything. And as we move through our exercises today, I want you to think about trying to find that feeling on the exhale of trying to just cinch in your waist and pull those ribs in nice and tight. So we'll bring our hands down to our sides, take a few more big breaths in. And on that inhale, think about the back of your body getting nice and long without letting that chin lift up. And then exhale, letting those ribs just pull in tighter. Inhale, let's reach our arms up. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Keeping our hands down at the side of our bodies. Let's bring our heels together to touch. So now we're going to find our Pilates V. So imagine a small piece of pie. That's the size of the shape you want your feet to be in. So my heels are together, my toes are apart, similar to a first position in dance, but not as turned out. So what this does is it creates this external rotation through my hips, because my hips and my feet follow what each other are doing. So the more I turn my feet out, the more my hips are gonna open. So I'm just gonna keep that small piece of pie shape and really feel like my outer thighs are kind of wrapping back towards my bottom and pulling my inner thighs in nice and tight. So my inner thighs and my heels are connected. Okay, from here, I want you to keep your heels on the floor and just start to softly bend your knees. This is called a demi-plie. Just softly bend your knees, and then you're gonna press your heels down and zip your inner thighs up and stand up nice and tall. So let's take a big breath in to prepare. And then on that exhale, sink those heels down, let those knees open, and then inhale and stand back up. Do that a few more times. So on the exhale, we go down. On the inhale, stand up nice and tall. So really, again, as you stand up, thinking about drawing those inner thighs together, lengthening the spine. Exhale one more time as you go down. And then inhale to lift up. So now we're going to make it a little bit more challenging. We're going to add in a balancing component. So lifting the heels off of the floor, off of the mat. Still trying to keep your heels and inner thighs together. Let's move on our inhale this time. So we'll inhale, lift the heels up, and exhale, set them down. And they might not lift very high, and they might lift really high. It just depends on your balance and your experience with a releve. If you want to challenge yourself even more, you could bring your hands into the shape of a box, but still think about those thighs wrapping back towards the back of your body, towards your bottom, to pull those inner thighs in nice and tight. Resist your heels on the way down. So just imagine you're trying to resist against your own body to allow your heels to set down. Let's go one more time. Inhale to lift. And exhale to lower down. If your hands are in the shape of a box, let's keep them like this. We're moving into some standing footwork here. So we'll start out with that releve, lifting the heels up, trying to keep them together. Softly bend the knees, so a little demi-plie. Push your heels down into the ground and then stand up nice and tall. Squeeze those inner thighs together. So we lift into a releve and then softly bend the knees. Push your heels down and stand up nice and tall. Two more. So this time, as you start to bend your knees, think about growing taller. You're still getting taller as your heels push down and you zip up nice and tall. Okay, so even though your body is going down, I want you to think about your spine and the back of your body lengthening up. Now let's reverse it. We'll start with that little plie, demi-plie. Heels are still on the ground. Now I peel my heels up to a balance, stand up nice and tall, and push my heels all the way down. Demi-plie. Peel my heels up for a balance, pull my inner thighs together, and then set my heels down 2 more times. So I'm getting taller as I plie down. Pick up my heels, stand up tall, push my heels down. Last time. Demi-plie, releve, stand up tall, and then push my heels all the way down. Good. From here, I'm going to make my way onto my mat. So I'm going to make a little adjustment with my camera here so that you're able to see my entire body when I'm on the mat. So I think that should work. All right, so let's make our way down onto our mat. And then from here, we're gonna start on our backs. So I'm gonna turn and face the other way so you can see what I'm doing. So from here, I'm just gonna gently make my way onto my back. Just carefully rolling my spine down, one vertebrae at a time. Lying down on my mat. And from here, I'm going to start with my feet just firmly planted down. Okay? And find some nice stability here in my hips and my pelvis. So let's think about breathing in this space now. Now that we're lying on our back, we're lying on our spine. So allow the natural curvature of your spine to be there. So not overly arching, okay, but not overly trying to really press your lower back down and let your butt cheeks lift off the mat. Just find that neutral position. Okay, so a little natural curvature of that lower back. Okay, and from here, bring your hands to your ribs again. Take that deep breath in and just fill everything up. And then exhale, cinch it back in. Inhale and exhale. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling out through your mouth, almost as if you're kind of maybe blowing through a little straw. One more time. Now, think about your box from your pelvis all the way up to your shoulders. Being nice and still. We want to keep a nice stable box here. So the pelvis is going to stay nice and still. And from here, we'll lift one foot off of the mat, coming into a tabletop position. So if you notice, my shin is parallel to the floor, trying to keep my pelvis and my hips nice and still. Okay, and I'm really drawing my abdominals down or hollowing out my tummy. That's what we call it in Pilates. So think about your belly button going down towards your spine here. I'm using my hands for support, so I really feel this kind of openness across my chest, the backs of my arms, and my palms are pressing into the mat. Now from here, I'm going to lift my other leg up, and that's going to be some work. So feel how you really have to engage those abdominals to lift up both legs. And then we'll set both legs back down, or both feet back down to the mat. Okay, we're going to start with just one at a time, doing some deep core activating. So I want you to pick up one foot off of the mat, whatever foot you want to start with. And then from here, you're going to bring the same hand as leg right to the front of your thigh, underneath your knee. And I want you to take a deep breath in and press your hand into your thigh and your thigh into your hand, and you should really feel your abdominals activate here. On the exhale, release that tension. Let's do that 3 more times. So on the inhale, you're going to press your hand into your thigh into your hand, and then on the exhale, release. 2 more. I really feel this deep connection to my abdominals here. Last one. Probably even feeling those quads working, or the quad of the leg that's lifted. Now let's switch sides. So we'll do 4 on this side as well. Same hand as leg, trying to find a nice tabletop position, stability in the trunk of your body. Inhale, you bring that pressure, hand to thigh, thigh to hand, and then exhale, release. Inhale, you really start to feel that back imprint into the mat underneath you even more. Let's do 2 more times. Inhale, bring in that tension. Feel that core work, those deep abdominal muscles turning on. Last one. Now we'll bring that foot back down to the mat. I'm going to bring my other leg back up. Now this time I'm going to go with the opposite hand, and I'm actually going to bring it in towards the inside of my knee. Okay, so for some of us, that might be a big reach. You might have to bring your knee in towards your body just a little bit more. Okay, so finding a little fold at your hip. Now from here, you're going to do the same thing. Press the hand to the thigh, or excuse me, the hand to the inside of the knee and the knee to the hand, almost as if you're trying to cross your knee over your body, but your hand is stopping you. So on that inhale, go ahead and bring in that tension, and then exhale, release. Inhale, and exhale. 2 more times. You really start to feel the sides of your body, those internal and external obliques start to really turn on. Last time. Inhale to bring that pressure, and exhale, release, and switch sides. So I'm going to bring that knee in towards me just a little bit more. Opposite hand comes to the inside of my knee. Inhale, bring in that pressure. Feel the sides of your waist cinch in. And then exhale and release. 3 more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Last 2. Inhale. Feel the sides of your body. Fire up. And those low abdominals. Last one. And exhale. Let's set that foot back down. Bring your hands back to the sides of your body. So from here, we're going to go into an exercise called toe taps. So you have the option to do one leg at a time if that's better for you. So that would look like one foot just staying on the mat and one being up, and you're staying on the same leg. Otherwise, give it a try. We're going to bring both legs up at the same time. Now, right away, you should be firing up those deep abdominal muscles by drawing your navel down to your spine. And from here on the inhale, we're going to keep the shape of the right leg and tap the toe to the mat. Exhale, bring it back up. Inhale, switch to the left side. Exhale, bring it back up. Again, if this is too much for you at this time, go ahead and just stay on one single leg. So that would look like this. Otherwise, you're alternating from side to side. Inhaling to tap, exhaling to come up. Let's just do 2 more. Good. And we'll bring 1 foot at a time back down to the mat. Just pull your knees into your chest and just take a little rest, maybe rocking and rolling side to side or in a circular motion, kind of massaging your lower back on the mat underneath you. We'll bring both feet back down onto the mat. And from here, we're going to bring the whatever leg you want to start with back up to that tabletop position. And keeping the trunk of your body nice and still again, keeping the pelvis still. So really looking for that stability. Extend your leg out in front of you. And then bring it back in nice and slow. Set that foot down and switch legs. So we'll extend that leg out and then bend the knee, bring it back in and set it back down. Trying to keep the rest of your body as quiet as you can, alternating from side to side. Let's inhale to extend, really lengthening from the hip. Exhale, bend it in and set that foot back down. Switching sides. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, pull your navel down towards your spine as that knee bends. Set it down. Now, if you want to challenge yourself even more, come to that tabletop position. Really try to pull those abdominals down and go 1 leg at a time. So staying in this tabletop. And I just want you to imagine that as that knee comes back towards you, you're almost resisting it. As if there's something on your toes kind of pulling your leg in the opposite direction as you bring your knee back in over your hip to that tabletop position. And again, always remembering you can stay with kind of that first variation where it's just 1 leg at a time. Just do a few more here, just moving with your breath. I'm going to do 1 more time on my left leg. And set my feet both back down on the mat. Draw my knees in 1 more time. And just make those little tiny circles with my lower back on the mat underneath me. And then I'll bring both feet back down. Hands down along the sides of my body. And I'll pick both legs back up and go into a tabletop position. If this is too much load for your body to support right now, you could pull your knees into your chest more so that you're really drawing those thighs closer to your belly, pulling your belly down away from your thighs. And you can always keep 1 foot on the mat as well and stay in that tabletop position. From here, we'll lift our head off the mat and you're just going to gaze at the front of your thighs and try to get those shoulders off the mat and then set your head down and take a rest. So let's take a big deep breath in. And exhale, peeling that head and the shoulders off the mat, gazing at the front of your thighs, trying to really lift up, but keeping the lower and the middle back, really pressing down. That should be a lot of deep abdominal firing happening right now. So big inhale and exhale. The further up you curl up, the closer your ribs and your pelvis or your hips come towards each other. Set it back down. Just do that 2 more times. Inhale is the preparation, and the exhale, you're reaching those fingertips as far away from your shoulders as you can. Curling up, 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 and then lowering down. This will be the last time. Inhale and exhale. Now this time you either hold your head here, start pumping your arms like you're slapping water to make waves, trying to keep the trunk of your body nice and still, or set your head down. Really trying to get the blood flowing, circulating. Start to breathe in for 5 pumps and out for 5 pumps. In for 5, out for 5. And you could even bring your head down for a breath and then pick it back up. Let's do 3 more. Inhaling for 5 and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Let's bring our knees into our chest. Set our head back down. So for those of you that are new to Pilates, that was your Pilates 100. So the vigorous pumping of the arms, the lift of the head, neck, and shoulders, really drawing you into your abdominals, gets you into this nice rhythm with the arms pumping, and the blood starts to really flow and that core turns on. Let's bring our feet all the way back down onto our mat. Now from here, I want you to bring your heels in towards your bottom so that you almost create kind of almost a 90-degree angle with your ankles almost underneath your knee, but not quite. Not quite. So if it's hard to tell, just make sure you don't have any knee pain. You don't want to pull your heels in too tight that you feel any pressure behind or on the sides or the front of your knees. And you can keep a little separation between those inner thighs, but make sure when you kind of just curl your head and shoulders up again, your hips, knees, and ankles should all be tracking in a straight line on the right and left side of your body. So again, that's that alignment. Now I want you to take a deep breath in and get that length through the back of your body. And on the exhale, just drawing those ribs back in. So just let's reconnect to our breath. Inhale through your nose, exhale out through your mouth, drawing your navel down towards your spine, cinching in your waist. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now keeping your pelvis and your hips in the same position they're in, on your next inhale, see if you can just lift your bottom straight up off of the mat, pressing your feet down into the ground as if someone is holding the tops of your feet. Try to press up a little higher. Your bottom's going to squeeze a little bit. Your knees are reaching forward away from you. And then on your next exhale, slowly start to let one vertebrae in your spine roll down onto the mat, one at a time, until your hips come all the way down. And then just allow that natural curvature in your spine to come back. Okay, so again from here on your next inhale, just pick your hips straight up off of the mat. Pushing your feet down, using the backs of your arms, your triceps, and your palms to help support you, pressing you up. Really trying to lift away from that mat, getting nice and broad from shoulder to shoulder. And then articulating down. So the upper part of your back, the middle part of your back, then the lowest part of your back or your waistline come down to the mat. Again, on your next inhale, lift your hips straight up. Reach your knees away from you. Try to keep your ribs pulled in nice and tight so that they're not flaring up towards the ceiling, as if you're pressed between 2 panes of glass here. And then articulating down. Let's just do 1 more. So find that natural curvature of your spine. Find that neutral position. And on your inhale, you're lifting those hips straight up, reaching your knees away, getting nice and long, maybe coming up even higher this time. And then exhale, just articulating down 1 vertebrae at a time. Good. Let's bring our knees into our chest and just grab behind your thighs. From here, start to just kind of roll the back of your hips, your lower back in a circular motion. Just to massage it out, go the other way. And then we'll bring our feet all the way back down, a little further away from your bottom this time. Lift your head and shoulders off the mat, grab behind your thighs and see if you can pull yourself all the way up to a seated position. Now from here, we're going to turn over and come onto all fours. So this is a quadruped position. Okay, so really trying to think about the shoulders being over the wrists and the hips over the knees. And I know it's hard to tell if you don't have a mirror you can look at. It's like, well, I don't know. So just do your best. And I want you to gaze down at your mat and really think about the length in the back of your body again. So now we're in a completely different position. Your spine is up towards the ceiling and not down on your mat. So it's harder to tell because you don't have the feedback from the mat what your back is doing here. But I want you to imagine the crown of your head really lengthening towards whatever is in front of you, and your tailbone, the very bottom or base of your spine, lengthening back to whatever is behind you. Finding a nice neutral position with your spine, as if you are creating a bridge for somebody to walk across. Okay, now from here, see if you can allow your sternum to just drop down towards the mat. And maybe you let your gaze come up out at the floor, way out in front of you just a little bit. So this is creating a little extension, a little, just a little arch. Sorry, that's the word I'm looking for. In your back. And then you'll come back up to that neutral position here. So let's take an inhale and find that where we drop our sternum or our heart towards the mat. Kind of gaze out at the mat, way out in front of you. If you notice, I'm not letting my chin lift all the way up. I'm still keeping my chin down. I'm just kind of bringing up my gaze. I'm sticking out my butt just a little bit, and then I'm just pressing back to that neutral position. So inhale, drop the sternum, exhale, come back to neutral. Do that just a couple more times. So inhale, and exhale. 2 more times. So the next 2 times when you come back into your neutral position, really think about letting that navel or belly button pull up towards your spine and get tight through your abdominals. Find that feeling when we were on the mat, when you were really pressing your hand into your thigh and your thigh into your hand. So try to find it right here, pulling those abdominals up. We'll hold the neutral position here. Find the length in the back of your neck, just looking straight down at the mat. And from here, I want you to allow the weight of your upper body to shift into your left hand a little bit more. And you're going to let your right arm reach out long in front of you. Get nice and long, and then set it back down. Inhale, switch to the other side. Exhale, lower down. Trying to keep the trunk of your body as still as possible. Think about shooting energy out from your fingertips. You're getting longer, longer, and longer. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, getting longer, longer, longer. Exhale, lower down. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Now this time we're going to lift the opposite leg when we lift the arm. So we're going to take that right arm and left leg up, trying to keep your hips level so that I'm not opening up my hip or dropping it down, trying to level both hips up. And I'm lengthening through my fingers, through my toes, and then I set back down and switch. Big inhale, switch, opposite arm and leg, reach, 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 exhale, lower down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more time each side, right here. Reach it as long as you can. Lengthen, lengthen, get longer, longer, longer. Set it back down. Inhale. And exhale. Good. From here, we're moving into our plank. So we're gonna kind of baby step our way there. Okay? So all I want you to do to start is allow one leg to stretch back. So I've got one knee down and one leg stretched back. Still trying to keep my hips level so that I'm not rotated open. Okay? And from here, I've got a little softness in my elbows, just a little softness. I want you to hold the position you're in. Okay, but on your inhale, I want you to think about trying to draw almost as if you're trying to bring your knee between your hands and your hands back towards your knee, and feel how that really activates your abdominals. So I'm not actually moving. It's more like an energetic pull or reach or this surge of energy, okay? So inhale, pull that knee forward in your mind and your hands back to the knee. Exhale and release. Inhale. And exhale. Now this time, I want you to do the same thing, but I also want you to press down through that back foot. So the ball of your foot, push it down, push it, and release. One more time. The knee feels like it wants to come forward. The hands want to go back. That ball of your foot pushes down. Now hold this position. Pick up that opposite foot and send it back for a plank. If that's too much for you, you can stay right here. If you prefer to be down on your forearms, you could come down to a forearm plank. Okay, whatever feels right for your body. Okay, so if you're in your plank, come back down. Bring your knee all the way down. And let's switch to the other side. So same thing here on that inhale. It's as if you're trying to pull your knee forward through your hands and your hands back towards your knee, and then release on the exhale. Do that 2 more times. So inhale, find all that energy. Feel those abdominals turn on. Exhale, release. And then inhale, pull everything in nice and tight. Exhale, release. We'll add pushing the ball launch of the back foot down. So pull everything into center. Push that back foot down. Release. Inhale, find those connections again. Hold it. Keep breathing naturally. And pick up that other foot and send it back. Holding your plank. Hold it. Can you hold your plank for 10 seconds? Maybe you need to bring your knees down. Maybe just one knee down. Maybe you need to come to your forearms. Can you hold for 3, 2, 1, and then lower down and sit back. Let's take a little child's pose here. So just bringing your heels and your butt close together, reaching your arms out in front of you. Keep your head up slightly and your chest lifted, and really try to kind of round your back ever so slightly to get a little stretch, extra stretch in the back here in the lower back. Good. We'll come all the way down onto our back. So from here, if you have a towel, go grab one. If you have a little pillow or something you could use as a little prop, you might want to use it for this next series. So we're going to actually be all the way down on our belly for this. Okay. I'm going to give you a couple of options. So I want you to let your feet be about as wide as your mat. And we're going to be in that external rotation. So remember when we first started in footwork and I said your heels are together but your toes are apart and you have a slim piece of pie shape with your feet. You're going to have the same position. Your legs are just going to